Welcome back, Shalligators! Pura vida! I'm back from Costa Rica. We just wrapped up our Shalligator getaway to Costa Rica. You guys, it was phenomenal. I'm going to tell you about it in a minute, but you have to excuse how I look. I always have some bullshit excuse for why I look so shitty, don't I? Like always. I'm packing for a trip. I'm unpacking for a trip. It's a Tuesday. It's a day ending in Y. It's a holiday someplace in Spain. I have to look shitty. Sorry. But you know what? I come with a pure heart. And a shirt that says enjoy and destroy. Do you guys remember this merch? I kind of want to redo it. Tell me what I should do for my new merch because I feel like we need some new drip, right? We need some new fits. Okay. Today we're going to talk about Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey, the most gorgeous couple who seemed so happy and so aligned and both so alpha, breaking up. What? What happened? I'm going to give you my theory because when I first heard this news, I had one instant, I bet this is what happened. I bet he proposed and she said no. I bet that's what it was. Nothing else to me really makes sense. And there's no real information out there about this. No, there's no cheating rumors. So I don't know. I could be totally off track, but...
Hi, it's me. Okay, sorry. I just had to interrupt this video because I filmed it yesterday and now a little bit more has come out about this breakup. Not really, but maybe something that's kind of a crucial data point. So I figured future, but also present me would jump in. Am I in the future? I don't know. I'm not really good at math. Anyway, Lori seems to have wiped her Instagram of all things Michael B. Jordan, which kind of tells me maybe this wasn't a situation where he proposed and she said no, because would you really do someone that dirty if they went out on a limb, proposed to you, and you're like, I'm sorry, I can't marry you? Would you then be like, and another thing, you're fucking dead to me? It seems like cruelty. I always think it's super immature to delete someone off your Instagram. I mean, unless something really bad happened, unless there was cheating or something. But look, I've already filmed this video. I'm not redoing it until we have real concrete new information, then we'll do a second one. So for all intents and purposes, let's just assume and keep going with this topic that he might have proposed and she said no, because honestly, I've got some really good information about what to do if a guy's ready to commit and you're not. So we're just going to keep going with this. Oh, but before we get into it, also, I wanted to let you guys know that when I was in Costa Rica, I had a chance to visit this fundraiser I've been talking about on my Instagram. It's called Kids Saving the Rainforest. I literally found it just kind of Googling around this site called Global Giving with all vetted international charities and stuff like that. And they've been around for 30 years and they have a 53-acre sanctuary in Costa Rica where they rehabilitate and release orphaned and injured sloths, monkeys, anteaters, coatis, raccoons. I mean, every kind of little baby animal, sea turtles, dolphins, all these kinds of animals. And they really are on such a shoestring budget. We can help them. You guys, we can really make such a difference. I've seen their facilities. I've seen the people working there. They're doing it so much out of the goodness of their heart. They're from all over the world. They come in and they help and they volunteer, spending their own money to be there. So if we can raise a few $1,000s, we can get them maybe a used car that they can turn into an ambulance, because if they can't get to an animal, they can't help it. Or if you guys work for any companies that might be willing to donate medical supplies, used cars, crates, literally anything, please get in touch with me at collab@shallonlester.com. I'm going to put that right down there. And also you can donate directly at the link right down there in the show notes. Any dollar goes straight to them. $10 can feed a little baby animal for a week. And I'm going to be showing you guys some videos from my visit, but it is really such an amazing charity that I was so lucky to see firsthand and really vet them myself. And it's a really great thing. Okay, let's keep talking about Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey. Okay, bye. I'll see you. I'm sorry. Goodbye.
I asked you guys on Instagram, what's your topic for this? And a lot of you guys had the same theory. I think he was ready to settle down. He's 35, she's only 25. And she just wasn't. And she's kind of known for being a player. Just fucking love it. Love it. So today we're going to talk about what to do when a guy is ready to settle down, but you're not. We talk a lot about the opposite, how to get a guy to commit and when he's not ready, blah, 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 blah. It ain't always like that. We know that we here, we're all alpha females, you know, we're bad bitches. We've got our goals, our ambitions, our friends, our routine, our schedule, our whole authentic encapsulated life that really has nothing to do with a man. Not one of us was put here on this earth just to be someone's other half. That might be a part of what we do here on this earth, but we were put on this earth to execute dreams that are in our heart. And fucking some dude and getting a ring on your finger, honey, ain't it? So we're going to talk about what to do when a guy is ready to lock it down, but you're just not there. But before we get started, I want to remind you, if you want to talk to me a little bit more in depth about this or any little thing going on in your life, head to my website, shallonlester.com, click the link right below. You can submit a question to me, I answer all of them, and I can get you help in just 24 hours if you really need it, ASAP. Also, if you want a little video help from me, go to cameo.com. If you're in the US, you can also get a birthday shout out, pep talk for a friend, something like that. And head to Memo if you are an international chickadee. And speaking of international, we just got back from our Shalligator getaway to Costa Rica. It was so incredibly special. It was so wonderful. There were about 20 of us. And you know, it's a really unique way to travel. And it's hard to kind of like get your head around, because we know what tours are like. You know, you go on a tour with like some sort of commonality. It's a birthright trip, like, oh, we're all Jews. You go on like a Tuscan Italian cooking thing. Okay, we all like pasta. We all like bird watching, whatever it might be. So we know what tours are like. And we know what girls' trips are like. But girls' trips, you all know each other priorly. And you all know all your bullshit, all your history. And on tours, you have this commonality, but it's not a commonality of like, your soul and like how you look at the world and how you move through the world and what kind of like human you are. It's like, yeah, I like watching birds. I like pasta. I like Judaism, you know? These trips combine both of these things. Like it's a girl's trip, but with this incredible benefit of like starting fresh. You know what I mean? Like there's no history. You can come and start really fresh in the way you present yourself to other chicks, but also it's not like you're meeting a bunch of strangers, because you all have this thing in common, which is you're bad alpha bitches. And maybe you're not peak alpha. Maybe you're just like baby alpha and you're just like kind of getting your mojo back and branching out and blooming. It's really amazing because everyone inspires everybody else in ways that they don't even anticipate or maybe know that they need. It's just a really special chemistry that we all find on this trip. So, and you know, the word that encapsulates it all is always just sisterhood. It's really special. I'm going to get like teary talking about it because it's such a unique experience. It's not like anything else. I don't even think like other influencers get to do this, because who the fuck has an audience as bad as mine? Nobody. We're not just here like wearing kicky hats like other influencers. They blog or post. No, we're here to change the world. Which brings me to our topic today. Lori Harvey. So Lori Harvey is Steve Harvey's daughter. Do you know she's not his blood daughter? I didn't know that. She's his stepdaughter, and he like legally adopted her. And he's like, I'm a rider for her. Like he's obsessed with her. Just like treats her fully like it's his daughter. Adorable. And she's gorgeous. She's gorgeous. And she always seems like a bad bitch. So we know Steve Harvey has the book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. And we are going to do that for our next Shall Literature book club selection. I literally just need to find time to read it because I want to like give you guys a primer on it, but I think I need it. And so she's been dating Michael B. Jordan, who was in so many movies they need not be named. I don't know. Like I haven't seen, whatever. He's that Rocky movie, something, who's boxing. Was he in Black Panther too? I feel like, I don't know. I'm sorry. He's hot too. They actually kind of look alike. Don't you think they have kind of the same mouth? Oh yeah. And they say that couples are attracted to people they look like. Yeah, it's like a tribal, like, you know, biologically we're drawn to people who look similar to us. Like, you know, our genetics will go on. It's interesting. It's interesting sometimes. But they seemed like a really low-key power couple. You know, they're not showy. They're not doing it for the gram. They're not PDL all over the place. And they've talked about that. Like, we're both really private people, so it's hard to know, like, what to show, what to conceal. So this breakup, for me, really came out of nowhere. And yeah, the first thing I thought when I heard about it is he must have proposed and she must have said no. Because why else would two people who've been together for, you know, like over a year? How long have they been together? A while now. Why would they suddenly split? Maybe this is the deal, maybe not. We're going to go with it for the purposes of this video, assuming that that is what happened. And who knows? More stuff might come out as time goes on. And we can do updates. But for now, let's talk about when the guy's ready and you're not. Now, like I said, there's a big age difference, 10 years. If you're 45 and 55, 10 years might not matter that much. 25 to 35, I think is a big age difference. Now, I love a younger man. I love a younger man. And if anything, we talk about dating with age differences in terms of what I call a life arena. A life arena. For example, 17 to 20, 3 years, okay? 17 is still in high school. 20 is mid-college. Those are two completely different life arenas, or maybe not even college, maybe working, two totally different life arenas. Whereas like 27 to 31 or 30, I can't do math, same life arena. You're both adults, you're both working, you're both living on your own. Not that big of a deal, right? So like, I think 30 to 40 isn't really that huge of a deal because you're both in the same life arena. But 20 to 30 and even 25 to 35 can be very different. Your 20s are such a developmental time. You're really learning so much about who you are. And it just breaks my heart when I talk to girls in their 20s and they're like, I haven't got it all figured out and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, you're not supposed to have it figured out right now. This is the cooking phase. Right? This is the ingredient gathering phase. This is the data phase. Okay, where do I want to live? What kind of job makes me happy? What kind of relationship makes me happy? And it seems like all people do in their 20s, at least all I did, was compare. I was comparing myself relentlessly. We talked about this more. Cowboys on the other bed. I love you. Grunting and sighing like he's got a job he's got to go to. Don't start barking. We talked about this recently in last week's Grad Week series about how to find your lane and your passion. So go ahead and watch those. But let's get down to the nitty gritty. He's ready. You're not. It's really tricky because there's so many points and counterpoints. I think we've all experienced the situation of right person, wrong time. Cowboy just wedged his little snout under a pillow. He's so annoyed that I'm in his room and talking. Do you realize this whole house is my house? You don't pay one bill. You yourself are a bill. Okay. Right person, wrong time. When we encounter those situations, very often we don't know until it's already passed. We'll look back and be like, man, I fucking blew it with that guy. He was such a great person. He was more mature than I was. We are filled with so much regret, but we have to trust our path. You know that when I get confused about a situation, it's like, I can't make heads or tails out of this and nothing feels right. I copy and I paste. I copy and paste a dynamic into a different scenario to see if I can get a little bit more clarity. Beating yourself up over finding the right person at the wrong time is like berating a 5-year-old for not shopping at Zara. Okay? A 5-year-old doesn't fit into the clothes. They have no place to wear that backless silk dress. It's not a store for them. The 5-year-old is not wrong because it can't appreciate what it's looking at. The 5-year-old is doing exactly what a 5-year-old should be doing and shopping where a 5-year-old should shop. And when you get older, do you, a prior 5-year-old, tell yourself, God, idiot I was. That store we were in, I didn't shop there. What an idiot. I should have bought all those clothes. I should have forced myself to wear all those Zara fits. What was I doing? Would you ever waste your time thinking that? That would be demented. Copy, paste. Everything is right on schedule. And it's so hard to know this. But look, we talk about force ripening a lot. We talk about avocados. Let's dive deep into a different metaphor. You want to make some guacamole, you go to the store, you pick up an avocado, it's hard as a rock. What do? Do you say, God damn it, this is the avocado for me. There is no other avocado for me. I don't care if it's not right. I'm going to cut into this rock hard motherfucker. I'm going to make the most disgusting failed guacamole in the world. I'm going to make everybody sick. No, you don't do that. Do you sit down on the floor of the grocery store on some sort of weird guacamole hunger strike, waiting for it to ripen for days and days and won't eat anything else? Also no. You just put it back. And you say, yeah, that's fine, whatever. I'm going to choose a different guacamole or avocado. You don't take it personally. You don't blame the avocado for not being exactly what you want at that time. And you certainly don't blame yourself for needing guacamole in your life, as so many of us do. You acknowledge, hey, This avocado does not align with what I need. We're keeping it moving. But when it comes to relationships, we cannot see that. We're trying to force ripen a man. If only he was not on drugs anymore. If only he was just a little bit more mature. If only he was over his ex. You are trying to hack into an unripe avocado and make it work. You are sitting on the floor of that grocery store and starving to death, waiting for an avocado that honestly might never get ripe because some of them just don't. They go immediately to rotten. You need to put those situations back and keep looking for one that works. Why am I bringing this up? Copy paste. It is very tempting for us to say, after a lifetime of wishing for love and commitment and fairy tales and praying and manifestation, when you have someone in front of you wanting to wife you up or girlfriend you up or whatever kind of up it is, for you to say, how dare I not be ripe? How dare I spit in the face of God and these blessings and these answered prayers and say no to this thing, to this man, to this situation that I've been asking, that I've been wanting ostensibly, right? Maybe not now, but how dare I even put a qualification on it? You know what that is? That's a beggar's mentality. That's a beggar's mentality. Please, sir, anything you have to give, I'll take it. Are we beggars? Are we emotional beggars? I'm not. And I don't think you are either. Lori Harvey sure as fuck isn't. So while it's tempting for us to look at a guy, you know, when we're in that situation, when we're ready and he's not, and be like, I'm going to wait. What do we say? If it's fragile, let it break. Because what we're tempted to do when a guy is ready and we're not is, I have to commit or I'm going to lose him, right? If I say no, he's going to be crushed. The damage will be irreparable to our relationship. I don't want to lose him. I don't want to break up. I just maybe don't want to get married, or I don't want to be exclusive yet, or I don't want to be in a long distance relationship or move to Cincinnati or whatever it is. And if I don't do that, I'm going to lose him. Let's copy and paste that in reverse. Let's go back to the opposite situation. When we're waiting for a man to force ripen, right? If I don't wait around, I'm going to lose him. If I stand up for what I want, I'm going to lose him. What do we say? If it's fragile, let it break. Put the avocado back. If you honestly think that's the only avocado man out there in the world for you, girl, come on. Because when we can get a little distance from those scenarios, we can see, like we said, they might never ripen. They might never reach their potential, and you can't date just potential. They might never be over their ex or be able to deal with their mom or stop cheating or whatever it is, fill in the blank. That might not ever happen. And so we can't wait around for this eventuality that kind of isn't. That might, what guarantee do we have, right? We need to date something and something, men or objects, that fits with our here and now, that is ready for our existential guacamole, right? So knowing that in terms of dealing with guys who aren't ready, what conclusion can we draw when we're not ready? We're not someone's perfect avocado. But I love him. I know that you love him. Love really doesn't get us that far. Ugh. One of my best friends said it right. She's like, love is basically like 15% of a marriage. Really, it's the glue that binds you. It's the thing that blunts the edges to keep you from murdering someone about squeezing the toothpaste roll the wrong way. But it is not the thing that just propels you into the future. And it certainly doesn't equal compatibility. We've all loved people we're wildly incompatible with. Wildly. Circumstantially, logistically, none of it makes any fucking sense. It certainly isn't advantageous to us. It's creating more problems. He's Jewish, I'm Catholic. He lives here, I live over here. Just a million different things. But I love him. Okay, how many problems does love actually solve? From my experience, it seems to create more because you're unwilling to look at the reality of the logistical fits of the avocado being ripe enough. And love, marriage, partnership is logistics. Chemistry isn't compatibility. Marriage, partnership, It's that quote from Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, who wrote The Little Prince, Le Petit Prince. Love isn't two people looking at each other. Love is two people looking out in the same direction. And the older I get, the truer that is. How well do you think a marriage is going to work if one person wants kids and the other one doesn't? If one is a penny pincher and the other one is in billions of dollars in debt? You know? And more than that, how can that love thrive under those differences? How long can you keep loving someone and not become wildly resentful? The answer is not very long. We have seen this time and time and time again. So knowing we can't force ripen a man, why would we beat ourselves up that a man can't force ripen us? Well, I should just decide that I'm ready. You know, I feel so bad. I should be ready. Okay. How well does that work? How well do the shoulds work in terms of changing your emotion? I should like CrossFit. I should love being a vegan. I fucking hate both of them. I mean, if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. Do you know what I mean? Did you guys ever hear that phrase? It just makes we use it as kids all the time. I think one teacher said it to us and we just ran with it. Anyway, shoulds don't really get us anywhere. And just like we can't date a man's potential, he can't date ours. We cannot pretend to be our own potential. We can't pretend to be right. You know who did that? I did. And it ended in divorce. And I hurt a wonderful person because I wasn't gutsy enough to be honest. Not only was I not honest about how not ready I was the one driving the train. I think we should get engaged. Like, how long are we going to date and not be engaged? I never stopped to ask myself, I mean, really, really do a gut check and ask myself, do you want to be married? Do you even understand what that entails? Or are you just like a little kid behind the wheel of a car? Dude, I'm a fireman. What the fuck was I even talking about? I wasn't mature enough to do that. And he was all in because he's far more mature than I am, probably always will be. And he was ready. He had thought about these things. And I was like, me too, toot toot. And then when it got really real, when the venues were booked and the dress was bought, and I was like, ugh, fuck, there was no going back. Because what I realized, and what I said before, at that point, it's like you don't know what to do. Because if you say, hey, I want to call this off, you lose them. And I didn't want to lose him. I was in love with him. He was my best friend. He's the best. But going forward didn't feel right either. And so I'm trying to spare you from that fate of saying like, yeah, let's get married. Let's move in together. We'll figure it out. Will you? I didn't. And I'm pretty goddamn smart. So, I mean, good luck. Maybe you will. Maybe you will. Maybe that avocado will ripen in 4 hours before people come over for that Cinco de Mayo party. Maybe it will. I don't know. I'm not an avocado. But I'm going to err on the side of maybe not. So what do you do? What do you do if you're on wildly different pages? I think, okay, so we talk about pain and suffering, right? Pain is the thing that happens. Suffering is the story we apply to the thing that's happening, to the bad thing that's happening, right? I got fired from my job. Oh my God, that's pain. I got fired from my job because I'm a piece of shit and an imposter, and I was finally found out for being wildly incompetent, a complete idiot. I'm never going to work again. My 5th grade teacher was right. That's suffering because that's a story you're applying there. That's like coming out of nowhere. It's just a fear-based story, right? How does this relate to this? You are allowed to not be ready. You're allowed to not be ready. What you're not allowed to do, Mama Shallon says you're not allowed to do this, is tell yourself this story about what kind of person that makes you. I've been praying for a wonderful guy to be into me and want to commit to me for my whole fucking life. Here he is. I don't want him because actually maybe I'm completely incapable of love. Because I'm just fundamentally broken. I'm going to die alone and be eaten by wolves. So that's my fate. No. What if you just had the pain and not the suffering? What if you just had the feeling and not the story? What if you could approach this feeling curious, not furious? What if you gave yourself that grace and that space and that self-love to be like, why don't I want to commit? Is it the timing? in my second year of law school studying for the bar, and the last fucking thing I want to do is move in with someone or have this boyfriend who needs all my attention. Is it a logistical thing? Is it, hey, I got out of a relationship a year ago. I'm still in a hoe phase. I'm not ready to commit. He's a wonderful person, wrong time. Is it that kind of situation? Or when you get down to it, is it him? You can be with a wonderful person who's not a wonderful person for you. Not a wonderful person for you. 5-year-old in Zara. Wonderful clothes. I don't know why I use Zara. I could have used Gucci. What's wrong with me? I'm so tacky. Wonderful clothes, not wonderful for a 5-year-old. Who's right and who's wrong in that scenario? Nobody is wrong. They're both completely right. So why would we vilify one party or another in that scenario? Exactly. Now, why are you vilifying you in this scenario? Or look, are you vilifying him? Are you saying he's just trying to lock me down to get control over me? Do you believe that? I'm not saying it's wrong. He might be. But you need to get to the root of that. Is that what he's trying to do? Guys try to do that to me a lot. Like the guys, I used to be very flattered when guys would want to commit to me up front. Now I see that as the absolute biggest red flag. Biggest red flag. You don't even know me, bro. Like you don't. It takes, I think studies show 8 months to get to really see, like, until the mask falls, basically. Because after 8 months, you're going to have a bad day at work. Someone's going to get sick. There's going to be trips, bachelor parties. Like, you're going to run through a lot of the scenarios of life. And they also say that exactly a year and a half, almost twice 9 months, right? Double that, whether or not you want to marry someone. Interesting, right? So when guys are like month 2, like, I'm going to be your boyfriend, I'm like, see, cold-blooded me would have loved that. Did love that, not would have, did. Because I needed to be validated. I needed to know someone loved me. Now, I'm a warm-blooded animal. I don't need to know that you love me. You know who loves me? I love me. I love me. The Shallon loves me. My family loves me. My dog. Like, I have plenty of love. I enjoy your love. But I want your love to be predicated on knowledge and data about me. And I can't imagine you have that much data about me. Even though I share, even though my life is kind of an open book and I'm all over the internet, you don't have experiential data about me. And I don't have it about your ass either. So the conclusion that I can draw is either you are the desperate one, you're the cold-blooded animal here who needs to be loved, who needs to be validated, you can't be alone, or you're manipulative and you want to get your hooks in me because that's what a narcissist does. You're love bombing me. You want to get your hooks in so that you can get a maximum amount of control over me. Shallon, that's such a dour, pessimistic way to look at it. My shirt doesn't say kindness. It says enjoy them, destroy them. Okay? I am a dour, pessimistic person, but I'm doing it in service of sparing us all misery down the road. What if we erred on the side of caution and we're like, instead of being so flattered that a guy just wants to commit, that we are that avocado that suddenly ripened in 2 hours, that this is one of those once in a lifetime things where you meet and it's just on and there is no looking back and even though literally it makes no logical sense that you would know you want to be with someone that hardcore when you don't actually know them. Maybe you are that outlier. But let's err on the side of caution and assume we are not the exception to a rule, that we're just the rule. That actually, he doesn't know me that well. That actually, this does feel really rushed. That actually, neither one of us has enough data about the other one to make these kinds of serious decisions. And to me, becoming boyfriend, girlfriend is a serious decision. Once you make a label, you got to break a label. And it fucking sucks. Like, there's nothing worse than a breakup, especially one that comes pretty soon after committing. And I don't know, this would happen to me. I mean, I did it with my marriage. I would be like, okay, well, he wants to be my boyfriend. What's the worst that could happen? Let's say yes. Let's commit. We'll see where it goes. Worst case, we break up down the line. That's literally what I thought about marriage. Let's see how this goes. Worst case, we get divorced. It is the worst case. It's a horrible case. It's like worst case, we get burned at the stake. That is a terrible case, in fact. And emotionally, that's exactly what it felt like. You know, why was I so willing to commit to situations with not enough data about me, about anything, instead of being so willing to pump the brakes and say, no, it's desperation. I mean, it was cold-blooded bullshit. Well, I don't want to lose him. If it's fragile, let it break. If you go to a man and say, hey, I like you, I might even love you, but I don't think we have enough data to make these kinds of commitments. And that's not an insult, it's an observation. Weighing counterpoints and trade-offs it shouldn't be seen as insulting. If it is, there's a reason. What do we say about people who hate our boundaries? Exactly. They benefited from us having none at all. And narcissists and love bombers and toxic manipulative people, desperate dudes, they embody this more than anybody. What do you mean you need to go on that girls trip? You have me. What do you need your girlfriends for? What do you mean you don't want to run off to Vegas and get married? What do you mean you don't want to drop out of law school? What do you need law school for? You have me. That's pretty fucking toxic. So you go to these dudes. This is what we do. You sit down with this person. You have a real deal conversation. Hey, I just don't feel like I have enough data to make this decision. Well, what do you need to know? I mean, ask me anything. It's like, no, it's not like a game of questions, you know? It's about our life experience. Like the data I might be talking about might be my own data. I don't know what city I want to live in yet. So I don't think it's good we move in together where you live. I just don't know where I'm at. Now look, this conversation probably isn't going to go well. Let's copy and paste it in the reverse the genders. If you went to a guy, you're like, hey, I like you. What are we doing here? Do you want to be together? And he's like, I just don't know. I don't know where my life is going. And I don't know where my job's going to take me and blah, blah, blah. What do we say about stuff like that? Either it's a hell yes or it's a hell no. There's no in between. There's no, gee, I don't know, maybe in the future. Let's see where it goes. I would tell you, get out. Either he's the unripe avocado or he's literally just not that into you. He's just not that into you. And if it was a chick he was into, it would be hell yes, hell yes, hell yes, hell yes. Steve Harvey actually has a quote about this. He said, oh, men will change, but for the right woman. If he's not changing for you, it's because you're not the right woman. He comes for our neck. Steve drags us to hell and back. But it's true. It's true. And we know this because we date people and they're like, oh, I'm not ready. And then we break up. And then the next person they date, 6 months later, they're fucking engaged. And you're like, what? It's not that he didn't want to get married. It's that he didn't want to marry you. Me. I've been down this road so many times, right? It's not that he wasn't mature enough for a relationship. He didn't want a relationship with you. Let's recopy and paste that in reverse, because I know we're getting into depressing territory now. Maybe it isn't that you're not ready. Maybe it's that it's him. Maybe it's that it's him. You know? I wonder that in my own histories. I wonder that, and I don't know that I have a solid answer. Was it the person? Was it the timing? Was it me? Was it all three of these things? Was it none of these things? And it was something else? I don't know. But the fact that I don't know, that I still don't know, means I had no fucking business committing. Boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, living together, nothing. I had no business committing. I didn't have enough knowledge. Like I said, I still don't in some ways. I still don't. People ask me all the time, Shallon, do you think you'll get married again? And I'm like, I don't know. I want to find someone who makes me want to do that. You know, I would love to be in love like that, where I had no doubts. Isn't that what we all want? A clear path? Whether that's, I know exactly what I'm going to have for dinner. I know exactly what I want to, exactly where I want to live, and the kind of job I want, and the kind of hairstyle I want, and even the color I choose at the nail salon, which I am always forever second guessing. Don't we all just pray for that kind of clarity? that singular focus, if we don't have it, the worst possible thing we can do is pretend that we do. The worst thing. Because we have then closed the door to figuring it out. You know what I mean? We have then walled off the option for gathering more data and deciding how we feel about something. We've made our choice. We've gone all in. You know, it's like, well, kind of doesn't matter if I'm ready to get married. We're engaged. So, and then the cognitive dissonance kicks in. What is cognitive dissonance? We know. It's when what is happening in the world, in our life, does not match what we want to be happening, right? I'm not attracted to this guy, and yet here he is, my boyfriend. Okay. Right? When we make a decision, the negotiation is over. We signed on the dotted line. So how can we avoid this? You pump the fucking brakes. And again, a guy who will not tolerate those brakes being pumped could have ulterior motives, the toxicity, the manipulation, or he could be exactly what we try to be. Someone who's like, well, I'm sorry. I want someone who's all in or they're going to be all out. I'm ready to commit. I'm ready to do this. If that's not you, bye. I respect that. And we have to respect that. We have to respect that. If we want a man to respect that for us, like if we strive to be like that, be like, well, sorry, you might love me, but you don't love me enough to give me what I need. Whether that's because of where you are in life or because of who I am and you just don't love me enough. Not because of who we are, but you know what I mean. I'm out. Then we cannot manipulate our situations to keep a guy around if we don't even know that we 100% want him around. Guys do it to us all the time and it's awful. So we gotta walk it like we talk it, and it sucks. But what if we had the guts to go to these guys and say, hey, like, I like you. I'm just not there yet because of X, Y, Z. And look, you need to decide what X, Y, Z is. You have to do that introspection, because if X, Y, Z is logistical, I haven't gotten my job assignment, for my new office or whatever. Like, I don't know where I'm going to go to college. Like, I can't make this commitment until I have more data about the other aspects of my life. That's one thing. But if the X, Y, Z is, I don't know that I can commit to you because I'm really not that attracted to you, because I'm kind of still in love with my ex, because I'm in a hoe phase and I just kind of want to touch a bunch of wieners. If those are the XYZs, you're out. You gotta get out. You gotta get out. I'm like, why would you stay in that situation? But if it's logistical, communicate that. Or even just logistical in terms of like, hey, we haven't been together that long. Like, I'm not in a rush. I'm not going anywhere. But if you put pressure on me, I will. I understand you're on this one page. I'm not. For whatever reasons, my history, my workload, my stress level, just how much alone time I need. I need a ton of alone time. And guys always take it so fucking personally. I'm like, I am an only child. Okay? This is what I need. I get that you don't, but like, you're not right and I'm not wrong, and vice versa. Like, and if we can't get on the same page about this, if you can't at least respect this, then we're done. Because what are we going to do after we commit to each other? But you really won't know. You won't have data about where he's coming from, whether it is a place of toxicity and love bombing and like possession, or if it's a place of, hey, I'm mature and I've dated a lot of chicks and I know what I want, and that is you. If that's the case, I think he would be okay pumping the brakes, because it's not coming from a place of desperation. It's coming from a place of knowledge. And I do believe it's the man's place to go out onto that emotional risky limb and say, hey, this is how I feel. I like you. I love you. I want to be with you. And like, give you that emotional sort of offering that you then have the right to say, not yet, yes, or just plain no to. But you're not going to know until, number one, you figure out, curious, not furious, what's going on inside you, and communicate it in a way that's neutral and effective, and not like wagging your finger at him. It's like, well, I don't want to commit to you because you're not X, Y, and Z. If that's what it is, just leave. Just get the fuck out. Just get the fuck out. And it's painful when he's opening himself up and trying to commit, and you're like, in fact, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm not only not going to commit to you, I'm going to leave. But it's a lot less painful than trying to make that gross-ass guacamole, okay? You deserve good emotional guacamole. So be brave, be thoughtful, be clear, and see what happens. If he continues to put pressure on you, to me, that's a sign of toxicity. Because look, like, think about it in reverse. If a guy's like, yeah, I don't know if I would like want a girlfriend right now. And the girl's like, but I love you, I'd be like, no. You look crazy and desperate. Okay? Guys can be crazy and desperate too. That is the time, if we're being the crazy desperate one, to pull back and be like, why am I grabbing onto this guy so hard? Like he's this life raft and I'm drowning. Do I feel like I'm drowning in my life? How can I save myself? Maybe that's a situation with the guy. Be like, hey babe, I think you're going to be less ardent about us getting married or moving in together if your career is where it should be. So why don't we focus on that for 6 months? Then we can talk about moving in together. Because it's actually not going to solve any of the problems you're currently dealing with. It's a getaway car. Give him a little bit of fucking Shallon psychology. See what he does with it. If you come at him with logic and psychology and he comes back at you with gaslighting, manipulation, and emotional, machinations, that's some data you want to see. If you're speaking facts and he's speaking manipulation, well, that just might say it all. We're going to be back tomorrow talking about Shakira and Gerard Piqué. We're going to be talking about cheating. Does every man cheat? Is this where we're at? Okay. For more, click like and subscribe on. Like I said, if you need some help, head to my website. Click the link down below. Get some one-on-one help with me ASAP. I'll see you later, Shalligators.